Natalia rose before dawn and prepared for another day of searching. She'd spent the day before walking the streets of the ghetto, looking for her brother and her mother. She had been so sure she would find them, that someone would have seen them, but her efforts were in vain. Shocking, too, had been the pharmacy closure. She'd gone first thing to her work, hoping they would have some news, but it was locked up. When she'd gone inside, she'd found Jewish policemen combing over the supplies and moving from room to room. She had backed out without drawing attention to herself. What had happened to her friends? She had decided she would have to worry about that later. Natalia had continued searching, risking everything to be out here in the open without the new permit. She'd thought of going back to the Judenrat and pulling Mr. Badovsky out so she could at least secure her own documents, but she couldn't expect him to make 2 trips for her, so she considered it prudent to find her family first. And now it was another day. She hoped she would find answers out there, would locate her family and discover what was going on in the pharmacy. But before she could leave her apartment, she heard the sharp crack of a rifle, then another and another. The guttural bark of German commands echoed through her window. Looking out into the street, she saw SS everywhere, running together in teams. It was an action. The Germans were cleansing the ghetto, and Natalia was sure they would be after everyone who had not been granted a Blauschein. She had thought she would have more time, that there would be more days with tables and stamps, but apparently the Germans had issued as many permits as they intended, and it was already too late. What was she to do? She didn't have a Blauschein. Was it too late now, even for herself? She decided she had to see Mr. Badovsky. There was no point in searching for her family if she was deported herself. She would have to hope and pray that they would be safe, at least for a little while, and she could find them and secure permits before they were taken. Natalia stepped out of her apartment into a fiery maelstrom. There were bodies lying in the street just outside her door. People were running this way and that. She heard shots, the vicious barking of German dogs, and the heavy clump of booted feet rushing down the road. Hoping to escape notice, she adopted a casual pace and strode toward the Judenrat. She hoped that any German who saw her would assume she must have a Blauschein, for what sane person would stroll down the pavement during this action without one?